Are you saving enough? Not just for retirement, but for peace of mind, for a slower morning, for fewer money worries keeping you up at night. Maybe you've wondered, should I have more saved by now? Am I behind? Will I be okay later? It's so easy to ignore those questions. Life gets busy, expenses keep coming, and most people don't talk about money unless they have a lot of it. But here's the truth. You don't need to be rich to feel secure. You just need a plan that fits your life. In this video, we're going to take a simple, honest look at something called net worth by age. Not to compare, not to compete, but to check in and move forward calmly and clearly. Money can be a sensitive topic, but it doesn't have to be. We're not here to chase wealth or hustle endlessly. We're here to live with clarity, and part of that is understanding where we stand financially. Without fear, without shame. Many people reach their 30s, 40s, even 50s without ever taking a close look at their net worth. Not because they're careless, but because no one taught them how to think about it simply. We're told to work hard, to spend smart, to save for someday. But what does that really look like? This video is about finding out. We'll walk through a minimalist guide to net worth by age, not as a checklist, but as a quiet mirror. You'll learn what net worth is, how much you might aim for, and what to do if you're behind. You don't need complicated spreadsheets or financial jargon, just a few clear ideas and a willingness to be honest with yourself, because when you understand your money, you start to feel more in control of your time, your choices, and your future. Let's begin. What is net worth and why it matters? Let's start with something simple. What is net worth? It's a quiet number. You won't see it on your paycheck. Most people never talk about it, but it's one of the clearest ways to understand your financial health. Your net worth is what you own minus what you owe. That's it. Add up your assets, savings accounts, investments, retirement funds, home equity, even your car if it's paid off, then subtract your debts, credit cards, student loans, car loans, mortgage balances. The result is your net worth. It might be positive, it might be negative, but whatever it is, it's real, it's yours, and it tells you something valuable. Most people think their income is what matters. How much do you make is a common question, but income is just a flow. It comes in, it goes out. Net worth is different. It's what stays. It's what you've kept after all the bills, spending, taxes, and choices. Think of it like this. Income is the faucet. Net worth is the water in the bucket. You can have a strong faucet, but if the bucket has holes, it never fills. Expenses, debt, poor spending habits, those are the leaks. On the other hand, someone with a modest income who lives simply and saves consistently may have a full bucket by 40, and that brings peace. Here's why net worth matters. It shows you your actual position, not your lifestyle. Someone can drive a new car, wear nice clothes, go on vacations, and still have a negative net worth because it's all borrowed. Meanwhile, someone else can live quietly, drive a used car, cook at home, and have no debt, and they're far more secure. Net worth tells the truth behind the scenes. It's not about comparison. It's not about being better than anyone. It's about being aware so you can make better choices. And here's the good news. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start checking in once a year or every few months. Look at what you own. Look at what you owe. Subtract the two. Write it down. That's your financial fingerprint in that moment. It helps you track progress, even slow progress, because small changes compound, cutting one expense, paying off one loan, adding $50 to your savings. These little steps move the number over time. So don't be afraid of the number, even if it's lower than you hoped, even if it's negative. Knowing where you stand is the first step toward moving forward calmly and with purpose. A calm look at net worth by age. Let's talk about age and money. It's easy to feel behind, especially when you see people on social media buying homes, retiring early, or traveling the world, but most of that is just noise. Net worth isn't about showing off. It's about quietly knowing where you are and gently adjusting course if needed. So instead of chasing perfection, let's look at a few calm, reasonable benchmarks, not as rules, just as quiet guideposts. Here's a minimalist way to think about net worth by age. These are general targets based on your annual income. You don't need to follow them exactly, life is different for everyone, but they can help you reflect. By age 30, aim for half your annual income saved. If you make $50,000 a year, try to have a $25,000 net worth. This might include your 401k, a savings account, or even a paid-off car. It's not about being rich, it's about starting the habit. By age 40, around 2x your income. For that same $50,000 salary, that's $100,000 in net worth. It may sound like a lot, but remember, you've had over a decade to grow it. The power of consistent saving and compounding starts to show here. By age 50, 4x your income. This is often the time when people earn the most, but it's also when expenses pile up. Kids, homes, health. Staying focused during this decade helps keep you on track. By age 60, somewhere between 6x to 8x your income. This gives you room to slow down, work less, or even retire if you choose. These aren't success metrics, they're just calm checkpoints. Some people reach them earlier, others take longer. What matters most is that you're aware and working toward progress, not perfection. If you're under 30 and nowhere close to the first benchmark, don't worry. Most people start slow. Student loans, low starting salaries, life transitions, it's all part of the path. What matters more than the number is the direction. Are you building, even slowly? A small net worth that's growing steadily is better than a big one that's falling apart. And if you're in your 40s or 50s and feel behind, that's okay too. There's still time to reset, to reduce debt, to simplify expenses, to focus on what you can control today. This is where a minimalist mindset helps. Less pressure, less clutter, more clarity. Because the more you strip away unnecessary spending and distractions, the easier it becomes to focus on what truly matters. And let's be honest, these benchmarks don't account for everything. They don't measure your values, your creativity, your relationships, or your peace of mind. Still, they help you see your financial shape in a new light, not to make you feel behind, but to show you what's possible one step at a time. So, take a quiet moment, find your number, check where you are. Then gently ask yourself, what's the next small step I can take? Because building net worth isn't about a race. It's about movement, slow, steady, and clear. How minimalists grow net worth simply. Growing your net worth doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to be a financial expert. You don't need 10 budgeting apps. You don't even need to check the stock market every day. You just need a simple system, one that works quietly in the background. Minimalists don't focus on doing everything. They focus on doing a few things well. That same mindset works beautifully with money. Let's break it down into 3 habits. Nothing fancy, just practical. Spend less than you earn. This is the foundation. It sounds simple, and it is, but it's not always easy. In a world full of ads, sales, and constant upgrades, spending can become automatic, but the minimalist sees spending differently. Not as a way to feel better, but as a way to trade money for meaningful value. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it still matter in a week? Am I buying it or escaping something? Even saving $50 a week by eating out less, canceling unused subscriptions, or pausing impulse purchases adds up to $20,600 a year. Over 10 years, that's $26,000 before even investing it. Living below your means doesn't mean living in scarcity. It means choosing peace over pressure. Invest the difference consistently. Once you've built the habit of spending less, the next step is to put that money to work. Minimalists don't chase the newest investment trend. They prefer simplicity with consistency. That often looks like this. A low-cost index fund regular automatic contributions, ignoring the ups and downs. You don't need to pick stocks. You don't need a financial advisor unless your situation is complex. Just a basic setup that grows with time. If you invest $300 a month from age 30 to 60 with an average return of 7%, you'll have over $350,000, not from complexity, from quiet, discipline. Avoid lifestyle creep. This one is subtle but powerful. As people earn more, they often spend more. Better clothes, newer phones, bigger homes, fancier coffee. It feels normal, even deserved. But minimalists take a different approach. They separate needs from wants. They pause before upgrading, and they ask, is this purchase actually improving my life? When your income rises, you have a choice: spend more or save more. The minimalist chooses the second, not because they're cheap but because they know freedom comes from margin. The more space between what you earn and what you spend, the more options you have. These 3 habits, spend less, invest consistently, and resist lifestyle creep, work quietly in the background. They don't require perfect timing. They don't require luck, just awareness and patience. It's like tending a small garden. You water it weekly, you pull a few weeds, you give it time, eventually it grows, not because you forced it, but because you stayed consistent. And that's the minimalist way to build net worth. No chasing, no pressure. Resetting if you're behind. Let's be honest, many people feel behind financially. Maybe you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, and your savings aren't where they should be. You check your net worth, and it's lower than expected. Or, even negative, it can feel discouraging. But here's something to remember. You are not your number, and it's never too late to reset. Calmly and clearly. Life happens. Maybe you had student loans, maybe you supported family, maybe there were job gaps, medical bills, or just surviving. No one's path is perfectly smooth, and most people aren't talking about money openly, so it's easy to assume everyone else is doing better. But the truth is, many are in the same boat, quietly worried, unsure where to start. So let's start here with one gentle idea. It's okay to begin again. Here's a simple 3-step reset process. It won't overwhelm you. It won't require major life changes overnight. It just starts where you are. Step 1, get clear on what you spend. Before anything can change, you need to see the whole picture. For 30 days, track everything, not to judge, just to observe. You can use an app, a notebook, or a spreadsheet, whatever feels easy and sustainable. Write down every dollar that goes out: groceries, bills, coffee subscriptions, random Amazon purchases. At the end of the month, look at it like a map. Not good or bad, just information, because you can't fix what you don't see. Step 2, find the leaks. Once your spending is clear, find 1 or 2 areas to adjust. You don't have to cut everything. Start with something small and painless. Are you paying for 5 streaming services but only use 2? Do you buy takeout 5 nights a week because of decision fatigue? Is there a recurring charge you forgot about? These small leaks left unchecked drain your future. Let's say you free up $200 a month. That's $2,400 a year. Over 10 years, that's $24,000 before it's even invested. Minimalism is not about restriction. It's about intention. You're not cutting joy, you're cutting noise. Step 3, redirect the different. Now that you've found some breathing room, use it wisely. You have 2 main goals: pay down debt and build savings. If you have high-interest debt, like credit cards, start there. It's often the biggest drag on net worth. Create a basic plan. Pay a little more than the minimum. Or use the snowball method, paying off the smallest debts first. Once your debt starts shrinking, even slowly, you'll feel the weight lifting. At the same time, start building a small emergency fund. $1,000, then $3,000. It doesn't need to be huge, just enough to avoid going back into debt when life throws a curveball. From there, you can begin investing calmly and consistently. Even if you start late, compound growth still works. A 45-year-old who saves and invests will build a strong foundation by retirement. Most importantly, forgive yourself. It's easy to beat yourself up about missed opportunities, but regret doesn't build net worth. Action does. Minimalism teaches us this: start small, stay steady, let go of what you can't control. Your next 10 years can look different than your last 10, and that begins today with one clear step forward. The goal: freedom, not perfection. When we talk about net worth, it's easy to drift into numbers, charts, and targets. But step back for a moment. Ask yourself, why does this even matter? Why track your savings? Why reduce debt? Why try to build net worth at all? The answer, at least for minimalists, is simple: freedom. Not status, not luxury, not impressing others. Just quiet, steady freedom. Let's define what that means. Financial freedom doesn't always mean retiring at 35 or traveling the world. Sometimes it's much smaller and much more powerful. It's the ability to say no to things that drain you, the space to take a lower-paying job that brings more meaning, the relief of not worrying about the next unexpected expense, the option to help someone you love without anxiety. Freedom means time. It means choice. It means a life with less pressure and more presence. Here's the trap many people fall into. They treat personal finance like a race: more money, bigger goals, faster results. But minimalism teaches us something different. You don't need to optimize every dollar. You don't need to chase perfection. You don't need to win at money. You just need to be intentional. Enough savings to sleep well, enough margin to breathe, enough structure to feel calm. That's success. Think of it like hiking a trail. You don't need to sprint. You don't need to take shortcuts. You just need to keep moving at your own pace. Sometimes the trail is uphill. Debt, emergencies, unexpected costs. Sometimes it flattens out. Steady paychecks, good habits, small wins. And occasionally you find a quiet moment to look back and realize you've come farther than you thought. So how do you stay focused on freedom, not perfection? Here are 3 simple reminders. Stop comparing. Your financial life is yours, not your friends', not a stranger's online. Benchmarks are just tools, not scorecards. Focus on the direction, not the speed. Even slow progress is progress. If your net worth is going up bit by bit, you're doing well. Align money with your values. Ask, what kind of life am I building? Use money to support that vision, not distract from it. You don't need a perfect budget. You don't need to max out every account. You just need enough clarity to make good decisions and enough space to live with purpose. In the end, net worth is just one measure. It's not your identity. It's not your value. It's just a reflection of your habits, choices, and priorities. And with a minimalist approach, fewer distractions, simpler systems, and a clear sense of enough, you can build a life that feels light, secure, and deeply satisfying. Not because it's perfect, but because it's free. Let's take a slow breath and look back at what we've learned. Net worth isn't about wealth. It's about awareness. Knowing where you stand quietly, honestly, so you can move forward with intention. You learned that net worth is a simple equation. What you own minus what you owe. A number that reflects not just your income, but your decisions over time. We explored rough guideposts for net worth by age. Not to judge, not to compare, but to help you reflect, to ask, am I on a path that feels sustainable? You saw how minimalists grow net worth without overwhelm, by spending less than they earn, investing simply, and avoiding lifestyle creep. No complex strategies, just steady, clear habits that create long-term stability. And if you're behind, that's okay. You now have a gentle roadmap to reset. Track what you spend, find a few leaks, redirect the difference. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to begin. Most importantly, we came back to the real reason this matters. Not to hit a number, not to reach a milestone, but to build freedom. Freedom to choose how you live, work, and spend your time. That's what net worth gives you. Not perfection, but margin, peace, and room to breathe. Thanks for spending this time with me. If this video helped you think more clearly about money, even just a little, consider subscribing or watching another episode. We talk often about simple habits, quiet progress, and living with intention. No hype, no pressure, just steady improvement. And remember, it's never too late to take control of your finances, not to impress anyone, not to follow someone else's plan, but to create a life that feels grounded, peaceful, and free. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just ask one small question. What's the next clear step I can take today? Then take it slowly, calmly, with intention, because that's how we grow. That's how we improve. Learn, focus, improve the simple way.